Hey guys, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT, and this is this week's News Friday, where I talk about all the week's gaming news, gaming topics, and some anime news if I find it. Now, today's top story is Resident Evil 8 is in development, and it has been confirmed, notably by the producer, Jun Takenuchi, again I forgot that pronunciation right or whatever, probably not, who was being interviewed in an official making of a mini-documentary for the game in its it's worth reading, blah 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 blah. And let's give you his actual quote. "We want Resident Evil 7 to be the start of a new kind of survival horror of the new series," says Takenuchi. "We are already thinking of various plans for the next game. We also want to see how we can continue to evolve the survival horror itself in the next few years. Technology will continue to advance, and what players want may also change, but we will always want to create horror experiences where the characters overcome a difficult situation." Well, obviously, you strive for that. He continues, "So the current masterpiece is just the beginning. Plans for the next title are already in motion, and when you see that game, you may find that it is very different from Resident Evil 7 in some ways, while retaining that core survival horror concept for people overcoming the odds. Resident Evil will always retain that essence." Furthermore, we do have more confirmation. Shinju Makanui, or whatever, is credited as Mikami, sorry, I've got that pronunciation right, is credited as the father of Resident Evil itself, having served as director on both the original game and the Resident Evil 4, who hasn't been involved with the franchise since then, although he's been dealing with his creative responsibilities with Evil Within and Evil Within 2, which is a great game, by the way. I've seen both of them. When asked if he would return to Capcom if they give him creative freedom on Resident Evil 8, he simply answered, "I might," sending headlines across the press, the gaming industry in itself. My thoughts on this is simply, let's face it, we know Resident Evil 8's coming anyway. It's not, oh, if they make it, but simply when they're going to make Resident Evil 8, which ain't a bad thing. They've rebooted the series. They've tried to return to that core horror element, which I think they succeeded. I did play the demo. I'm not a big fan of horror games, to be honest with you. I think the only one that I've really played recently is Until Dawn. I know people say that's not really horror, but whatever. I played Until Dawn, it's on my channel. I got the demo of Resident Evil 7, and I have Prey to play at some point. I did play the Dead Space series, or whatever, and I did very much enjoy it, and I wish they would come out with a PS4 version of that as well, so I'll definitely play that. Man, fucking hell. But yeah, so this is a rebooted series. They did say that they were going to return to the horror as a core concept. They succeeded in doing that in 2017 with Resident Evil 7, I feel. They even upped the ante as well, making use of technology, which I think is really, really cool. To really enhance that horror experience in doing VR. I haven't tried, Resident Evil enough, or any horror game is enough for me on the screen, let alone me walking around in the dark, blindsided, with no gun or stick or something, whatever, you know what I mean? Fuck that. That would shit me up. I'm just not, I ain't got the stomach for the horror, I'd just be screaming or something, you know what I mean? Just getting fucking scared out of my wit. But either way, Resident Evil 8 is coming. I don't know about the release date or anything like that. If it was in development or already in the early stages, I can only assume maybe they had a script, and for the next stages of the story. They're very smart. I think most of the stories are very satisfactory in terms of Resident Evil. I don't think many people have complained about the story because it's such a big universe. And so yeah, you've got Resident Evil 8 to look forward to in the future. The next story I have relates to SpiderMan with Brian Horton. The design director Brian Horton recently announced on Twitter that he was finishing up his third run-through of the superhero action game. In a comment under the tweet, he mentioned that each completion has taken multiple days. Well, obviously a game should take a good few days to complete, maybe a week depending, but I don't know, it depends on how many hours you spend each day on it, depending. I spend like an hour or two, maybe a day, depending on if I can, because I'm recording, so it takes something out of me when I'm doing that, because I'm speaking for an hour or two at best. It's unclear how much these days are spent playing the game non-stop. However, much of side content he completes in each run through, but it still sounds like an impressive amount. Horton must have dived right into the game as soon as it arrived on the team's considering he's only been with the developer Insomniac for a couple of days. God of War director Corey Barlog recently made a similar announcement about his studio's upcoming game, blah blah blah, God of War. Well, he said that was 25 to 30 hours. This guy actually hasn't put a number on it. I'm very much looking forward to the SpiderMan game in itself. I will be playing it, and I'm not really a Spider-Man fan like that. I find the films kind of boring. That's how I got into them, because it's just easy to sit there and watch something. But I'm not a huge fan of them. He ain't my favorite superhero, but it's definitely a game I want to play. Speaking of which, I stated on this show a few months back that Halo 6 is coming in 2018, and apparently it has been, I want to say delayed, but apparently it isn't coming in 2018. There's this so-called rumor, but I think it's more or less been confirmed. One of the big franchises, 344 Industries, helped develop 7 mainline entries in the series. Blah blah blah. Okay, hold on. Fans are critical. Oh yeah, fans were critical of 343 Industries delivered 2 titles. 2 Halo games, most notably Halo 5, which was slammed for its very short campaign. The game felt like it was holding back and stalling while the studio prepared for a 6th game. Well, because they've been given the reins of a franchise, they want to build on that empire. They're not going to, they're going to milk the hell out of it, and that just makes sense. But I don't think many Halo fans will be upset at the fact there'll be more Halo games, because it's a great franchise in itself. Whether they're quality games compared to the original is a different story. I haven't personally played all of them. I've only played the first Halo that's on my channel, and I'll get around to playing Halo 2 at some point as well. Blah blah blah. Okay, so it seems 343 Industries has taken the criticism pretty seriously, as they seamlessly opted to shy away from the traditional 2 or 3 year Halo release cycle for Halo 6 in favor of taking their time. In a new blog post, 343 Industries suggests that they are not ready to pull the curtain back on the Chief's next adventure. Welcome back to Frank. I'm sure if that's a welcome back for us or you guys, but let's go with it either way. 2018 has arrived, and with it the promise of new fun times to be had and adventures to be embarked upon. No, not those adventures, but plenty of exciting ones regardless, some which might surprise you more than others. So he's saying there's going to be adventures and good times this year, supposedly in 2018, but not those of what we think. So probably Halo, I suppose it's alluding to. Perhaps blah blah blah. So I'm just trying to finish up the rest of this. Apparently they're saying that it could be, we might see a hint of it they're suggesting E3 in 2019. So personally, I'm not really too bothered about it. There isn't a new Halo coming out as such this year. Like I said, I've got 4 other games to play, so that could be very much occupied. I think that the cycle of 2 or 3 years isn't a bad thing if they want to take their time further to get their story straight and what they're going to do next and how it's going to develop. I think that's only a positive thing. We've seen the likes of Ubisoft cut out Assassin's Creed Origins for 2 years instead of just a year, giving them real time to develop and do a story and the graphics and the universe in itself. And in the end, the game really paying off with lots of positive reviews. So I'd like to see them calm down with Halo a little bit. If 2 or 3, I know that maybe 2 or 3 years for you if you're a Halo fan, and especially because Xbox haven't got a lot of exclusives in that respect. Halo and Gears are they're 2 big main franchises. So I suggest you'd be a little bit annoyed that you have to wait that long, but at the same time, if it helps them develop a better game, a longer story, not horde mode or whatever, because I heard the last one was horde mode, essentially. So I think that can only be good for the franchise in general. Sticking with Xbox, they're also getting a Do Not Disturb feature, which PSN has had for like a couple of months now. Not that I really care for it anyway. I never personally use it. I don't know if you guys would use it or whatever. I'm unsure if this makes you just look like you're going offline completely and people can't see that you're online. Possibly, if that's emulating the PSN, or maybe you're just putting a yellow sign there, just for an example, like you don't want to be disturbed. But whatever, it is what it is. It's there if you're interested in that feature. It's a minimal feature, to be honest with you, hardly worth talking about, but I thought I'd throw it in anyway. Next up is the Xbox Achievement System to introduce loot boxes. Okay. Now this is quite a big topic, and there's a lot to say on this, and there's a lot of speculation. But the rumor is Xbox One achievement system is to introduce loot boxes. Now, if all the bullshit going on with loot boxes, you can, and Xbox, I've got to be honest with Microsoft's history. You just want to go, you know, Xbox with their money and their past, and then the loot boxes with EA and all the rest of it. You don't want to hear any more about loot boxes, but apparently they're going to be changing the Microsoft achievement system. They've already tweaked the Xbox One achievement feature this week by helping players track and sort their achievements across games, but according to a new report, this isn't the only overhaul in the works. A new report suggests that Microsoft is currently testing a system called Careers that will completely change the way that players interact with Xbox Live. The Career system will allow players to level up and earn prestige ranks as they play games that they enjoy. And players will also reportedly be able to unlock loot crates too. These loot crates will contain cosmetic items that can be used with a new avatar system that Microsoft is currently preparing for release. Now, I've got to say, with the avatar system with Xbox, I very much like it. I put myself in there or whatever. I can put costumes. I can pay money for to look like Master Chief or whatever it is. I think they're really, really cool. I actually believe the avatar system is actually better on Xbox than the PS4. PS4's gotten better, I don't doubt that, but I always liked the Xbox avatar system. But then again, with all the little bits of money like microtransactions, in theory you can say pay, which PSN has as well. I've got to be honest with you, and they got quite expensive, more expensive I'll have to say, over the past year or two, which I'm not a big fan of. That annoys me. Nearly a $5 for a diamond or whatever it may have been that you can put on your avatar. But I feel Xbox has a lot of options, and I think it's really, really cool. We can update it and stuff like that. So I actually believe they are the funner of the two in that aspect of it. A new, okay, hold on. Sorry, let me just scroll down. Okay, so this is preparing for release, but again, no idea. The Xbox One Career loot crates will also be supported by quests. Now, this is interesting. These quests may task players with completing specific objectives, including playing specific games. Completing these quests comes with rewards such as more experience points and additional loot crates. Okay, so there's a couple of things here in that statement that kind of is worrying, but I'm going to shift it on to something else in a minute regarding that. Okay. So there's going to be quests and stuff like that you can do, like challenges. They have them in Call of Duty, Battlefield, or whatever, X, Y, and Z. And there's going to be quests and stuff like that if you play specific games. So, hey, you should check out the new Halo 6. It's like one of our big things, you know. You get a decent loot crate with this one, and, you know, as an incentive to pick up the game. Which is okay and not okay. But I'll get to that in a little bit, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. Because you've got a feeling at this point that they're going to put in really cool stuff for their games, specific games that they want you to play. And then, you know, anything else that you generally don't want to support that game. Or maybe even that game's a shit game. And you have to, as a customer, consumer, whatever, or gamer, rather, you have to decide, you know, it's just a loot crate, it's just X, Y, and Z. Why am I going to pay £40, £50 to play a game that I'm not really interested in just to get a loot box that's got a supposed feature? Because you know people are going to be uploading what they got in the loot boxes, or it's going to tell you what they got in the loot boxes. If you want this cool item, you have to pay this or play that, and essentially you're going to be paying just for the loot box. You'll play the game, but whether you like it or not is a different story. So you know what I mean. It's going to be you know, like I said, more experience points, depending if you're interested in ranking up, if you find that kind of stuff appealing. I personally don't on the Xbox more than I do the PSN. I enjoy the PSN thing a little bit more, but that's just me, each to their own. At this point, it's not certain whether or not these loot crates can also be purchased with real money. That's another thing. Can they be purchased? I hope to God they can't be purchased, to be honest with you. The report explains that there is currently no evidence to suggest that players will be able to unlock the cosmetic content by paying for it. However, Xbox One Career system is said to be in the very early development, and it's unclear whether Microsoft plans to offer paid unlocks when the feature launches or introduce them later down the line. if the report is correct, Microsoft really is working on a huge overhaul of the achievements, then many fans may be concerned, even if the career loot boxes only contain a cosmetic loot and therefore avoid a loot box backlash. There is still the fear that Microsoft will lock the best content behind a wall, and that's what I'm saying. They might ask you to pay for it, or you have to pay £50 or whatever for a specific game to get this specific content. Now, personally, I don't think anyone in their right mind is going to look at a game, buy it just for that loot crate. I don't believe that for a second, at least in theory anyway. I think most of us won't. Moreover, the loot box gambling debate has led to questions whether loot boxes enable unhealthy playing habits and even promote gaming or gaming addiction. This is not a debate that Microsoft will want to be a part of. The report is correct. The company would have to tread carefully and release its new Xbox One feature. I have no... My opinion on this is simply it's always good to reward a player more or enhance, their enjoyment of, oh, I got that achievement, let's reward the player more. And that's pretty cool. I think maybe that, for example, with the achievement system in general, or PlayStation, for example, if I play a game, and just say I play, I don't know, Halo, and then I get a Halo avatar or a specific new Halo thing, the game rewards me, Xbox drops that to me, because it's game based on that specific game. That would be really cool. I think that would be the idea, that if I play a game and I want to play that game, and then it enables me to get a specific thing relating to that game, because in that way I've purchased a game that I want in Halo 6, for example, and then the achievement system don't just give me an achievement, it actually gives me a loot crate regarding that game. I think that might be a lot better. Therefore, I paid £50 or whatever for my new game that I wanted to play, and then I've got some really cool stuff because I've unlocked something in that game. That's really cool. That aspect of it is fine. If you're going to do general, what worries me though is the general loot crate aspect of it, of we want you to play this and you get this. You know what I mean? As for paying for loot boxes, I think that's unhealthy, because if you're getting, it depends. If you're getting something random in a loot crate that you don't know what you're getting, and it's just like a lottery, then that is a form of gambling, and I don't think that should be there one way or the other, because you have people addicted to that, spending money, 1 or 2 crates, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all of a sudden you're spending 10, 15, 20 pounds or whatever on a bunch of loot crates. I don't know how much they're going to be, but I assume they're going to be £2, £50, £3 something. It's small in number, but then it adds up over a period of time. Like I said, I'm in favour of them awarding gamers for getting stuff, for unlocking achievements. It's always fun and a unique aspect of it. But I'm worried about Microsoft in general, because of all the history they have with fucking up things, with trying to make you not borrow games to your friends and stuff like that. And so, in the early beginning of the console war, as it were. And so, you have to watch this step, especially with all the loot boxes and stuff in recent weeks and months, and the controversial with it. They have to tread very, very carefully. But getting back to what I was saying about shifting it to another side of it, and I have to say this in general, it is up to you what you do with your money. You have to have self-control, and this could be a whole other topic in general in another video, but it could be, but I'm just going to touch on it here, and I will say simply this. When you play a new game, Shadow of Mordor, EA, for example, I play FIFA every day, and it keeps trying to throw packs into my face, like, oh man, do this, buy this, it's this new feature, it's Call of Duty map pack, it's X, Y, and Z, it's double XP, get on the game. It's trying to sell me shit consistently, every single day it's trying to sell me shit. But as a gamer, as a consumer, customer, whatever you want to call me, I don't fucking do it. I have self-control, and I ignore that shit. I ignore all their propaganda bullshit. If the game is good enough, I will buy something relating to that. As for loot crates and stuff like that, or boxes or whatever, in Battlefield 1, which I will be playing on Tuesday or whatever, join me for that, by the way, they keep doing it to me there. They keep throwing that in my face. So it's not just a one-game thing, and you can blame this game. It's the way the industry is now. So I would simply say, but I've got to be honest with you. I've got a video of, I will upload a video of me unlocking loot crates, right? And you'll see what you get. And you tell me if they're worth whatever X amount of time or money. I don't know. I've got a shitload of loot boxes, and I'll show you exactly what I got in them in a separate video. And I've got to be honest with you, upon looking at everything that I got in there, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't even interesting, and I thought, fuck off. So I'm not paying for any loot boxes in any game, to be honest with you. I unlock something, I unlock it naturally, and I play the game for what it is, the base game, and then I kick on with it, kind of thing, and I never pay for the loot boxes. But that's me and my self-control as an experienced gamer. I don't put up with that shit, and I hope you guys don't too, and, you know, but it is what it is. I know there's a lot of casuals out there, or I hate calling you casuals, but you know, people that just, because some people really much love certain games and only invest in certain games, and I understand that if you're getting value for money, and I hope you are, and you're not addicted to it and you enjoy it. But if you do it on multiple games, every single game that you play, then you're just enhancing what they actually want. You know what I mean? That, like, people, you're enabling them to just charge more, and they keep doing this practice. They make a load of money out of it on EA Sports, for example, and probably a hell of a lot of other games as well. I think EA for the packs on Ultimate Team make over £1 billion, over £1 billion on the packs after the game's released over a period of time over the year. It's ridiculous, but that's the kind of money that they have. Alright, but yeah, so guys, just to warn you that is coming out, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Okay, I think I've got one more story, and this resolves to Dark Souls, so give me 1 second, guys. Okay guys, the next story is an exciting story, at least for Dark Souls fans. Now, I'm not somebody who plays the franchise. I just cannot play those types of games. The nearest I've got is Nier Automata, and then the South Park game recently, which I know, you'll just say, motherfucker, you're playing a child's game, whatever, I don't know. It's the closest I've got to the bloody thing. I have played Dark Souls 2, I couldn't get past a certain area, I was only a few hours into the game. Pissed me the fuck off, and I never went back, especially if I died thousands of times. It just really irked me, but there you go, it is what it is. So I just can't play those types of games, I won't even lie, but I'm still excited for this news regardless, for Dark Souls fans. Dark Souls Remastered is in the works for the Switch, PC, PS4 and Xbox One, has been announced today, or technically yesterday. A remaster of the original Dark Souls is reportedly in development for all platforms, with an announcement expected today. An update, Bandai Namco has just announced that Dark Souls Remastered for Nintendo Switch during the mini direct, but that's not all. The publisher also confirms the remaster will be released on the same day for the PC, PS4, Xbox One and PS4 Pro, Xbox One X. Enhancements have also been confirmed, including upscaling to upscaled 4K and 60 frames per second. Oh my god, that's sweet. On these consoles as well as PC. Original story, the remastered Dark Souls has been shown interest for a while, particularly as a portable version of the Nintendo Switch. It is very likely we are going to see Nintendo Direct later today. Okay, so that's just repeating some of what I said. Laura Kate Dale, who cites sources at retail and in development as the remaster is being made for all platforms, Switch version to be announced, blah blah blah. Hold on, let me just continue with the rest of it. There's not that many technical details available yet either, but the report mentioned upgrade textures and rebuilt lighting and SFX based on Dark Souls. Free tech, basically. PvP and co-op is also getting an upgrade to 6 concurrent players. The remaster is pegged for a May release on all platforms, and report added to Namco is also looking to bring in the 2 remaining Dark Souls games to the Switch as well. So basically all the Dark Souls is coming out on a remastered element of it. That's really cool and very exciting. If you're the type of person who can play those games and complete them, you're going to have a hell of a lot of fun doing that, and I envy you, because I don't think I'm going to invest £40 to pay for X, Y and Z and then just be crying you know, when playing, because I'm just going to die over and over again, and it's going to piss me off, and I don't think anybody wants to see that. Well, you do, but I'm not willing to put myself through that amount of pain in my wallet, and you know, not being able to complete a game that I know is just bollocks. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to complete it. But that's not, like I said, it's not because it's a bad game. I just can't play those games. It's going to piss me off. Having said that, touching further on a HD remake, they apparently are going to be doing a Devil May Cry remake, or not remake, a HDing up of their games on the PS4 as well. Whether that's, I think that's kind of that's a positive thing as well. If you didn't play them, I think they're very good. I played them on the PS2 back in the day. Fantastic games. I don't know if I'll do a playthrough of them because I'm just not into that game anymore. I barely played the last one. I even completed it. I don't think I completed it, and that was on the PS3. I don't know which one that was actually. The one with Nero, is that his name? I don't know, the other one, the young kid or whatever. I just never cracked on with it. Having said that, speaking of which, you know, thinking about all these HD remakes and Dark Souls, we got Devil May Cry and X, Y, and Z coming out. Let's have an idea of tweeting actually Konami for a. This is what I was asking for or talking about a few days ago actually. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4 HD remake. Now that isn't confirmed or anything. That's what I want. I tweeted about I wanted Dino Crisis, and they were touching on it if people wanted it enough, etc., etc. And you know, again, I've called for it for last year. I called for it again, and essentially they've hinted at it. So I think that I think we should give Konami a little bit of a push there. Okay, so I'm gonna tweet. If I can get there, Konami. Alright, they've got 3 here. Konami, okay, I assume that's the original. Konami UK, if I'm getting the pronunciation wrong. Konami EU, yeah, let's tweet them. So we're going to tweet all 3. What should we tweet them? Now that Kojima, aka God, has left your company, and your shit, how about releasing a HD PS4 version of all the Metal Gears? No, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. They won't take kindly about saying their shit. What to tweet them? Oh, like money? Question mark. Yes. Then we demand. No, demand's a bit much. I know how funny they get. Then we suggest or demand. No. Hold on. You release. Damn it. Spelling mistake. Right, so, okay. Which is you release HD versions of Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't care for 1, but I'm just going to throw it out. Metal Gear Solid 2. No, need a hashtag for that. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this individually. Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 4 for the PS4. I don't care if even if it's for the Xbox as well. I don't care. I just want, for the PS4. Okay, so it reads now. Like money? Question mark. Yes. Then we suggest you release HD version of Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid 4. Why have I written "and" in caps? What's that about? On the PS4. Yeah, okay, so this is looking good right now. Okay, on the PS4, hashtag take my money. Oh, hold on, no, let's not do that. On the PS4, I will pay full price. Wrong button. Hashtag take my money. I was going to put hashtag Kojima is God, but we don't want to, because they're very touchy right now, I suppose. So, it is what it is. I'm going to leave him out. But he knows in spirit. He knows we're thinking of him. Full price, hashtag take my money. What else can I put in there? I can't really think. I was going to put maybe a quote from Snake, but I can't really think one off the top of my head. I think that's good enough. I think they get the message. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to tweet. Boom! Done. Okay. So hopefully they get my message and they respond, or if they don't respond, they just fucking do it. I don't know. Maybe in a few days they make an announcement. We're doing it! Who knows? You know. I'm that influential, right? Alright guys, that is going to be the end of this week's News Friday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links are in the description below. If you want to buy a t-shirt, that's fine. You can do that, or a cup, or whatever it may be. There's a bunch of different things in there. No food review this week. There will be an unboxing. Another FIFA simulation is going up. Whoever we've got, I don't know. I can't remember. We've got Barcelona a few weeks as well. Arsenal, etc., etc. My new playthrough starts on Tuesday. I did re-upload South Park Stick of Truth Parts 1 to 3, just so the sound was good and everything. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.